If you've ever bound off stitches of a project worked in the round, you probably know that after we secure the last stitch, the bind-off edge does not look seamless. It has a gap between the first and the last bound-off stitches. We can patch it up somehow to make it less visible and then hope that no one will ever notice this little imperfection, or we could fix the gap properly and make the bind-off edge fully seamless. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to do it in 2 simple steps. So how do we turn this unpleasant gap between the first and the last bound-off stitches into this perfectly gapless look? We'll need a wool needle for that, and I have one right here. So when you're done binding off stitches and you secure the last stitch, leave a tail that is about 15 to 20 centimeters long, that's about 6 to 8 inches. Then thread this tail into a wool needle and insert the wool needle under 2 legs of the first bound off stitch. And there are a few things to remember here. First of all, make sure you are looking at the right side of the work. And then make sure you don't go under this strand. You don't treat it as one of the legs, because this strand, the one that is at the very edge of the beginning of the bind off, it belongs to the stitch that is below the bound off stitch. To find those 2 legs of the first bound off stitch, it's easier to look at the stitch next to it, this one. Because this stitch is clearly visible, you can see both legs, and then we just simply go a bit to the right and insert the needle from front to back under 2 legs that are right next to this other stitch. See, I found 2 legs that are kind of attached to this stitch, and this way I make sure I'm not going under this strand. This strand is just stays there. So go under 2 legs of the first bound off stitch, and we found them already, which is good. And then pull the yarn through, but don't pull it too tight. The trick here is to mimic the look of the chains that make the bind off edge. And we want this strand, the one that joins the last and the first bound off stitches, to be about the same length as any other leg of any other stitch in the bind off edge. So we want it to be about of the same length because we want it to kind of blend in. And then once we did that, we can move on to the second step. And this step, we insert the needle from front to back under the right leg of the last bound off stitch. This stitch is easy to find, it's right here, it's clearly visible. So we go under just one leg, the one that is farther from us, the one that is on the top of the edge. And we go from front to back, just one leg, like this. And then pull the yarn through. But again, make sure that these strands, the ones that we've just created, are about as long as any other strand in the bind off edge, just like this. Now we can secure the yarn and weave in the tail, and then we get this perfectly seamless look, no gap, everything is looking as if the chain of stitches hasn't been interrupted. This is one of the easiest yet powerful knitting tricks I know. With just 2 strategically placed stitches, we can turn a messy bind off edge into a well-finished detail. To read this tutorial as a set of step-by-step photo instructions, follow the link in the description. To download it as a PDF, join the club or our community on Patreon. Thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next tutorial.